Hello, you art connoisseurs. My name is Luis Garcia, and I want to discuss this painting I created titled Self-Portrait, Homage to Botero. The dimensions are 22 inches across and 28 inches long. The realm of possibility that's generated by the exploratory observation of an individual's gaze is where I draw inspiration. What does all that mean? Let's create a scenario where painting is like a game of chess, and the opening move in the painting is the painting of the eyes. Keep in mind that in chess, the opening move, you make it, then 10, 15 moves later, you forget about the opening move. The difference here is the opening move, the painting of the eyes, stays relevant throughout the whole process, throughout the whole painting process. So you start with your opening move, and each brush stroke thereafter is a chess move. And you apply your chess moves, and after each move, I study the eyes, my opening move, and the move that I've made to a certain point, and start to evaluate after each move, where do I want to go? What direction do I want to go in with regards to how do I want to apply the paint, the values of the colors I want to use. And it's an endless right then and there when I'm thinking about it, it's an endless possibility, the directions I can go in. And at those moments is when I draw inspiration, because I'm determining where I want to go, and the creative process is kicking in. Now, the end game in this is to achieve checkmate. And you achieve checkmate by completing the composition. So that's what my motto is. And right now, I'd like to step on the other side of the camera, continue commenting, and point out one particular item about this painting. The likeness of an individual is made possible through a portrait, and it allows for interpretation by all. The work here is a portrait of yours truly with my own interpretation attached to it. When my wife saw the initial drawing, her first thoughts were that I looked fat. My response was, bingo! I explained to her that it was a homage to the Colombian artist Fernando Botero. Mr. Botero, he's in his 90s. I don't know if he still paints, but if you look at his works online, you will see that he added a lot of weight to his figures. And I was excited to have this distortion attached to my painting here. Artists, they've been distorting the human figure for hundreds of years. If you look at paintings by El Greco from the late 1500s to the early 1600s, his tendencies were to elongate the human figure. That was his voice for his painting. Now, in addition to my distortions, I gave it a little exaggeration of rawness, a defiance that was included in my likeness. I played just a bit and deviated from the norms of what a portrait should look like. We're all familiar with Leonardo da Vinci. Well, take a look at one of his unfinished paintings titled Saint Jerome in the Wilderness. In certain areas of that work, you'll see the underlying painting, and in other areas you'll see the underlying drawing, and in other areas you'll see the painting. Well, in the past I would do a drawing on the canvas and paint over it. This one I treated differently. For some time I've had a desire to incorporate the pencil drawing into my completed work. I wanted some of the drawn portion to be perceptible to the viewer. There's been a few instances online where folks have looked at my work and believed that they were viewing either a charcoal or a pencil drawing, when in reality they were looking at a full acrylic painting. One particular work of mine titled Don Jorge was misjudged online for a drawing. I'm very proud of that piece because there is no pencil work in it. Now, if you look here on the right, I'm going to zoom in a little. On the right side, you see the beard, and it's a little different. So I gave it kind of like a Jackson Pollock effect, okay? And I gave it a Jackson Pollock effect, and I had intended to paint the whole beard in that fashion, but I decided against it. It would have been too dominant in the painting, and it would have just drawn too much attention to that part of the face. Now, as I was saying earlier, with regards to chess, I painted some of the painting, got to that portion of the beard, painted it in the fashion that I just mentioned, and then I paused, evaluated where I was in the painting, looked at the eyes, the overall composition, evaluated, drew inspiration on to what direction I wanted to go in. So then and there, I decided against painting the whole beard in that fashion, and that was part of my evaluation and creative process. And as I mentioned, this was where I decided against that check move, and against that chess move, and went in a different direction. And this was part of my process toward achieving checkmate.